Hi, friends. I want to thank the people who went to read my story, Mercy. It's a love story about a broken cowboy, killer aliens, and a questionable woman. I love writing this story. It's a serialized story. There are new chapters coming out every week. From the first chapter, the protagonist, his name is Blake Cole, is in the Old West, and he is a broken-hearted cowboy. Recently lost his wife, and some tragedy befalls a young boy that he is hell bent on getting revenge for. So, as the mother is burying the child and the family's gathered around this shallow grave, in chapter one, Aunt Abigail speaks up and tells him who shot the boy. And she says, I loved Lance like he were my own son. I loved him and I want justice. Real justice, not the kind Sheriff Yellowbelly will give us, Carol. The kind Cole will deal out. Iron and leather. You hear me, Cole? The name's Kurt Barron. He shot our boy in the back for nothing. Now you go find him. I know you ain't got no use for Bible words. You go right now, Cole. Right now, hear me? And remember what I said. Iron and leather. So, Blake, hell bent on revenge, and now knowing exactly who it was who killed that boy, and everyone knows where the Barons live. So he heads out into the desert. And then in chapter two, he thinks about his wife as he's making the long trail through the open desert. The sun began to set on the horizon, red and orange yellow, hanging like a ripe peach pit against a lilac sky. The purple hues of a desert sunset are the rarest and most fleeting. The way the purple light casts over the dry sages seems to adorn the whole world, even the long shadows, in the appearance of fine blue lace, prettifying a thin and delicate dress. Those were the words Cole's wife used when she wrote to her family back home about desert sunsets. When Cole read those words the first time, he knew he could only ever appreciate from afar the depth of a woman's soul. It was something he would never have, something beautiful and precious, something worth dying for. Lucy, why couldn't it have been me? He let slip under his breath. And then some very interesting things happen in chapter two, and not the least of which are some very strange lights in the sky. And then we get to chapter three. No, I'm not. There's these are just maybe teasers, but no spoilers, right? Um, but the lights in the sky suddenly become an urgent problem for Blake Cole. The chapter three is called "The Great Escape," and as he makes a break for it into the night, he and his faithful horse, they wound in and out of foothills at a fevered pace. At times it was so dark that Cole's only hint of their whereabouts in the fleeting dim light given off by sparks from the black's shoes over the stony ground. The great horse, never turning too abruptly in any direction, continued its desperate plunge into ever-darkening terrain. As horse and rider, they understood the limits of Cole's ability to hold on bareback, and those were the only limits the great Sable Morgan adhered to. Cole knew the black's speed was impressive, though he'd never witnessed it like this, and the cold air of the desert night caused his eyes to water up as they made their own wind. Cole relaxed his body onto the back of the bolting steed, creating as much physical contact as possible so the friction would help him stay mounted. He leaned forward, pressing his cheek against the Morgan's neck, while its thick mane whipped back and into Cole's face during the whole mad dash. Though he wanted to look up and see what is making those terrible sounds, those lights, the strange crashing noises in the distance, he saw, he saw, well, You have to read it, I guess. And I'm about to write chapter 4, and that'll be released in a couple of days. And so I hope that more of you will come and join in my new adventure, Mercy, a love story, and about a broken cowboy, killer aliens, and a questionable woman. The first 3 chapters are free to read online. Just follow the link. I really appreciate any comments or questions. If you want to see a certain something happen in the story, let me know. Nothing is set in stone. Anything can happen. Anything at all. All right. Thank you, friends. Take care, and I'll see you soon.